Hey guys, welcome to the Farming Pastor's Wife. I am so glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Leslie. I am the Farming Pastor's Wife, and I say welcome. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would ask that you would please consider subscribing. I do content on cooking, farming, ministry, grocery hauls, clothing hauls, try-on hauls, you name it. It's mainly cooking though. And so I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of the Farming Pastor's Wife family. Once you've subscribed, hit that little bell and then select the word all so you're notified every time I upload something. So today Isaac is home from school just for a short time and he misses his mama's cooking. So mama's going to cook him one of his favorite meals that he has liked since he was a young boy. And so I'm going to cook that today, and it may sound a little weird, but you will love it, I promise. It is Leeks pasta and bacon. So that's what we're having. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Okay guys, so I sent Isaac to the store to get everything we needed. And let me tell you, usually Leeks come in sets of 3 and they're usually, you know, just medium size, I guess. But have you ever seen such a leek? Oh my goodness. I don't work with leeks. In fact, this is the only recipe I do that calls for a leek. But anyway, so up here is kind of real woodsy. So I want to cut this, not this whole part, but you know, right here, I'm going to cut that off and then take some of these outer leaves off, and I'm going to cut the roots off. So let me show you the other one. I cut it to about that size, and then I did salvage this part at the, it was up here, but I took some of the outer things off. So let me get this one cut, and these are Mac Daddies, so they're, I've never had to fight with a leek before, but today was the first time. Okay, so I'm going to cut this root end off. And I'm going to cut some of this woodsy stuff off. And I might salvage a little bit through here. I'm going to take that. Yeah, I can salvage this part. And it's just really fibrous. And now a leek is very much like a onion, and as you can see, it grows in the dirt, and so that's sand right there. And so look, see, you can see the sand. I mean, that is sand. And so what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna cut this in half down lengthwise. And this opens up the rings so that the rings don't stay together. Because, let me show you, if I were to cut it straight across and not cut it long ways, then you have rings and they don't separate as easy. But if I were to cut it lengthwise, then look, they just kind of fall apart, and so that sand is easier to come out. So I've cut it down lengthwise, and then I'm going to go across and cut it in little half circles. I like mine thin, but you can cut it however you want to. And then I'm going to get a bowl, and I'm just going to put all these in a bowl. So once I get all these 2 leeks chopped up like this, I'll bring you back and show you what we're going to do. Okay guys, so I have my leeks all sliced up in here, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just fill this bowl up with water and swish it around a little bit. Then I'm just going to let it sit. The sand will sink to the bottom, the leeks will be at the top, and then I'll transfer them over to I let them sit for a little while, an hour or two, it doesn't matter. And so everything will sink to the bottom as far as the sand and dirt. Then I'll transfer the leeks to a colander, rinse them off again, and dump the sandy water out. And then we'll be ready to cook this up. So right now I'm just cleaning the leeks. We're going to fill it up pretty full. Okay guys, so we're going to let it sit just like this. And every now and then I'll come and swish it with my hands. I'll show you what I'll do. Not sure why my camera is so tight. I'll come around and just kind of swish it and be sure I separate anything that's still together. And now let me tell you a little bit about, and you'll have leeks on your fingers. Let me tell you just a little bit about this recipe. This was a Pioneer Woman recipe. And so I have adapted it to make it our own. She makes hers with pancetta. Pancetta is just something I don't have here a lot, and I don't buy it. I wouldn't probably even know how to buy it. But bacon is very much like pancetta, and I have bacon, and normally I fry up my own bacon for this, but guess what? Today we are working on getting ready for our community chicken stew. I don't have time to worry about bacon. So what I'm going to use is bacon, the real bacon that you find in the salad section. Not the little imitation bacon, but the real bacon bits. I'm going to use those. That saves a step of preparation. But if I had all day, by all means, I would slice me up some bacon and fry it up, and it would be delicious. But we're in a hurry today, and I want to be sure to cook Isaac a home-cooked meal, as home-cooked as it can get, and because he said he missed his mama's cooking. And so mama's got to do what she can to be sure he's getting a good old home-cooked meal. So, with that being said, I'm going to let the leeks soak and the sand sink to the bottom, and then we will get started on the rest of it when it gets closer time to supper. Okay guys, so it is that time of day that we are getting ready to start supper. I have been cooking and fixing and getting ready for the chicken stew, and it's time to fix Isaac's favorite dish. Now, the kind of pasta you're going to need for this, any kind will do, I'm sure. But this works really great, and this was the original pasta that the Pioneer Woman used. And it's the farfalle, otherwise known to me as bow tie pasta. So, I've got my water on. As soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to throw this box in and just cook it al dente. I'm going to go to it says 12 to 14 minutes, so I will go 12 minutes because we're going to continue. It'll go into another pot or pan, so it'll still continue to cook a little bit. So I want to go to the al dente side of this, so always stay on the low end of the minutes. So as soon as my water gets to boiling, we're going to get this going, and yeah. So we'll get everything else started while the pasta is cooking. Okay, y'all, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a little pat of butter in my pan. And, of course, our bacon bits are already cooked. But I'm just going to kind of saute them a little bit in that butter. Just to kind of get the aromatics and the you know, just get it going. Just get it going. And I'm actually using 2. You can cut back on the bacon by all means, but Bryant and Isaac love the bacon. So we're going to use 2 packs of bacon. And I'm just going to get it going and kind of loosen it up a little bit. And then I'm also going to turn on my oven for some bread and for my meal, which is a whole nother story, but Isaac will have plenty of this to take back with him to school. So I'm just gonna kind of get things loosened up here. They're already cooked. The bacon bits, the bacon pieces, I mean they're actually bacon pieces, they're already cooked. So I just want to get some oil going and get this butter melted. And then we'll be adding the leeks in with some more butter. So I have a stick of butter sitting out and it's ready. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay guys, you can hear it sizzling a little bit and the butter is melting. I've actually added 1 more pat of butter. So I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and start adding the leeks. That's a bunch of leeks. Usually I do 3 leeks, but they're surely not as big. Now they will wilt down, and that's what we want to happen. We want to get these cooking and going. And I'm going to get everything out of here because I got to use this colander again in just a little bit. With our pasta. Alright, so I'm just going to stir this around, mixing in the bacon bits until it wilts down. I'm going to actually add a couple more pats of butter. I usually, in this dish, I add pats of butter at just about every stage. So I'm going to add 1 more. So it's lots of flavor in this. I'm going to go ahead and pepper some right now. I'm not going to salt it because we will add some other things. The bacon has salt. We're going to add some cheese. That has salt. So I'm not going to add any salt right now. But we'll be back as soon as the leeks wilt down. Okay guys, so let's talk about what we add next. Brian and I do not drink alcohol at all. We don't purchase alcohol. It is just a spiritual conviction of ours, and so therefore we don't buy it. And I know a lot of recipes call for wine, and this is one of them. Now I think it does need that wine taste. So let me tell you, I'm using the good old nasty, nasty to drink, I'm sure, but good in this dish, cooking wine. Now, I know all your famous cooks say don't cook with any wine that you wouldn't drink. Well, we don't drink wine. We don't drink it. So, therefore, we're going to use this cooking wine. And I don't even buy it. Even though we're not drinking it, I don't buy it. So this was the closest thing I could get. And yes, I know there's alcohol in there, but if anybody can, anyway. But this makes this dish really, really, really good. But if you're okay with buying alcohol, if that's not your conviction, that's totally fine. I think any white wine would probably do. And you got to be careful over a gas oven. I'm going to add in half a cup. I'm not going to turn it down in case I were to have an accident. That would not be pretty. Because I would jump out of my skin and then my house would be on fire. So, anyway, I'm poured that in, a half a cup. Let me show you. The leeks have wilted down. And we're going to let that cook out for a few minutes. I'm turning my heat down just a little bit. And we're going to let that just simmer and cook down and just add that wonderful flavor in there. It smells, oh my goodness, this smells heavenly. All right. So we're just going to let this continue cooking. My pasta is almost ready, and what we're going to do before I pour it out is I'm going to take a mug and scoop out a little bit of that pasta water, just in case I were to need it at the end to thin things down. We still have more stuff to add in here, and but I'm just letting this cooking wine cook down, and then we're going to add in some heavy cream and some Parmesan cheese, and this is going to be so good. So good. So as soon as my pasta's done, I'll bring you back, letting you see me pull out some of the water, and then we'll be ready to add some more stuff here in just a second. Okay guys, what I'm going to add now is some heavy cream. I'm going in with a 1/2 cup of the heavy cream. Oh, and y'all are missing that because I didn't turn the camera down. Oh goodness, that looked like silky. I mean, that was beautiful when it went in. In fact, I'm going to add just a little bit more because I've got a little more leeks than I normally do. And guess what else I'm going to add at this point? Yes, I'm going to add a little more butter. This is not a low fat, it's not necessarily a healthy dish. It's just a good, delicious pasta dish. And I mean, that bacon, I mean, that's your meat. And so, oh, look how silky and velvety that is right now. Oh my word. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop out a little bit of this pasta water. I'm just going to take a mug. And just probably a 1/2 cup because there's starches in this. All right, let me drain the pasta and we'll be right back. Okay guys, I have added about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I thought I was filming and wasn't. And you can see that the pasta is soaking up some of the liquid. So I'm going to add a little bit of this pasta water. And this pasta water is so good because it thins it just a little bit, but the pasta water has starches in it, so it kind of gives it more of a gravy instead of a water. So, okay, I'm going to cut this burner off and cook my supper. And we'll be back for a taste test in just a little bit. I did add, I used some grated Parmesan and I used some of the shredded. I would say between the two about a 1/2 cup, but you can add more or less to your liking. So I'm going to get my supper started. We'll be back in just a little bit for the taste test. Okay guys, the men have come in.
Look at there.
That is, oh, so good.
This is killer good.
Yes, it is. I'll have to have a bite. I can't help it.
Look at the cheese stringing off of there. This right here is phenomenal.
It's been a while since I made it. I don't think I've made it since we moved home, have I? Maybe once. Maybe once.
Yeah. The key is plenty of bacon and plenty of Parmesan. And plenty of heavy cream.
That's right.
So this right here is really, really good.
All right.
You'd almost think she's Italian.
That's what I said. It's like an Italian restaurant dish.
Yeah, it's really good.
Here's what I'm having, in case y'all were wondering. I'm having lots of protein with the shrimp and cauliflower rice medley. This is a cauliflower thingamajig, and I'm not sure what it's called. And then a little salad with some feta cheese on it. That's what my supper is.
So can you tell me why you loaded me up with the carbs?
Well, you can't be ahead of me in the weight loss.
She's not a good loser.
No, I'm not.
No.
I sabotage.
Yeah.
Isaac has been outside working, so he doesn't want to be on camera, but
I'm
you're
opting out to be on. No.
just a quick look. Hello. Okay, now take a bite of your pasta and tell us what you think.
This is one of my all-time favorites.
I'm getting you a little bit.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
So good. Okay, and y'all see all of our stuff over here? This is stuff for the chicken stew. We have got it everywhere. So just forgive my kitchen tonight, and it'll be cleaned back up.
Can you use any other pasta?
You can, but the crevices and the nooks and crannies just hold everything good with those bow tie. So it's delicious. Okay, guys, thank you for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife. And remember, if the grease is hot enough,
You can fry anything.
you can fry anything. And he's going to eat some of my shrimp. Good stuff, huh?
Good stuff.
Bye, y'all.